Newcastle take on Parramatta. 2001, that first grand final at the night time where they're the biggest favourites of all time, the Eels. And then rushing home was Brett Hodgson, who scored a couple in a beaten side. Billy Peden was on fire that night, Brian. But in the end, the Knights pick up premiership number 2 in 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you make of this game?
Oh, sorry.
Live on SEN, by the way. We'll be calling it Scopey and I.
I've tipped the Eels. I feel Mitch Moses will need a big game.
Yep.
And he needs to respond after last week against the Dolphins. And he is the key.
Right.
I know they've got the Kalen. I love the kid at the back, but I feel it's all going to be on Mitch Moses' shoulders, and he's going to come out and have a big game.
So I'm assuming that Laurie Daly has written down a team. I know they don't want to do that, but I'm guessing he has. If he has written down a team, who does he currently have 6 and 7?
I feel he has Luai and Cleary.
Right. And then what would be the...
Just in pencil.
Pencil. It's all pencil.
Pencil. And if Moses goes berserk, it may get him into the team.
Is it too risky, though?
I like the fact that Luai's a left footer.
Left-sided player.
Left side, and he's done it before. He's in my team. He's my 6, Jerome Luai.
Yeah, me too.
But if Mitch Moses goes berserk, Cleary has already come out and said, whether he's just being politically correct and not didn't want to, or diplomatic, I should say. He said, "Yeah, I could work with Mitch Moses." And people out there going, "What's to say Nathan's guaranteed?" Well, Nathan's guaranteed because he's the best player in the game.
Of course. My thing to that, Brian, and Mitchell Moses couldn't have done more last year. And you know what? There'll be people wait with pens who don't want to have a say, but then if it goes wrong, they'll say, "Oh yeah, Mitchell should have been there." Or vice versa, Cleary should have been there, or Lewis should have been there, right?
What do we
Let's all come out
now.
Let's all come out now.
Yes.
Every single person, unless you have put them on the line prior to the game, don't have your say after the game.
No.
Everyone's got to put them on the line right now. If I'm putting on the line, I'm saying Nathan Cleary has been the best player in the world for some time now, and Jerome Luai. Now, the thing why would they've got the option of Nathan with Jerome, which has worked for so many years, or they've got Mitch Moses with Jerome, which worked last year. Why would you try a new combo? That is ridiculous, isn't it?
I think they're just trying to get Mitch in there somewhere, and for fair reason.
Yeah, fair reason. But it'd be stupid, Brian.
It would be stupid because they are very similar players, and he's majority right side player, and Luai is majority left. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
And the fact that there's going to be 5 other Penrith players in who Jerome Luai played 7 or 8, 9 years with them, so he understands their game. It looks like it's going to go that way, but if he comes out and has an absolute blinder,
I don't care how well he plays.
So you think it's regardless?
They're both right-sided players, right boot, and they put him in the corner and they do all that. Why would you possibly muck around and try and get too clever by putting both Cleary and Moses? I don't care who you put as halfback. But unfortunately, they're both right-sided players, so you've got to pick one.
What about this? What if Moses was 7 and we had Cleary playing on the left like he did in the grand final when our man Jackie Cogger came on? I know we've been too clever now.
We've been too clever. We've seen Luai, we've seen him with Cleary, we've seen Luai with Moses. Why would you try and reinvent the wheel? We don't need to do that. We have the best players already, I think. I could be wrong. Anyway, that's how we're shaping up. Newcastle taking on the Parramatta Eels. They're all trying to squeeze back in before Origin to say, I'm okay, pick me. Zach Lomax is one of those players, Brian.
Yeah, Zachy Lomax. He's only got to come through this game, and he's in.
Yep.
He's not only what he does coming out of the backfield, no one better in the air.
No. What does he need to do? Just a regulation Lomax game?
I like the fact that he's on the wing.
Yep.
I like the roles he has put him on the wing, even though whether or not he's happy or not in clubland playing on the wing. But for New South Wales to win, the back 5 is so important. And we were speaking to Laurie about going up to Brisbane with a debutant. It's tough.
Yep.
Having our 2 wingers, if they're fit and get through this game, they'll be in. Because I'm thinking about Carraz is the next man off.
I agree, but I've just had an epiphany right this very moment.
Genders.
Epiphany right now. So if Lomax is a front runner for sure and deserves to be so, I'll tell you a bloke who no one has mentioned, and he's arguably playing as good as he's played in 3 years.
You're going to say the Ted.
No. No, I'm going to say whether Brian Toto comes through clean or not, he can also play both sides. So Brian Toto don't care what. Mate, nobody has mentioned the Fox. Mate, the Fox is flying.
Yeah.
The Fox is playing as good a football that he's played in 5 years.
Yeah, I agree. He's lighter.
And anyway, I'm just saying, don't rule out the Fox. And by the way, congratulations, Dane Gagai, 53rd rugby league player. Of all those players who have dreamed to play one first-grade game, Dane Gagai plays game 300, big game. Bulldogs take on the Roosters. Brian, Roosters fans, some will say, has El Masri put the ball down yet in that grand final in 2004? What a big game this is.
Yes, huge game. Bulldogs, that second half, we talked about it on Monday and Tuesday. Brilliant. But the Roosters, they're sneakily been going good. They're getting their attack in order. They were dreadful the first month of footy, first 5 weeks or so. Lindsay Collins comes onto the bench. He's a bit like Mitch Moses. He needs a big game. He hasn't played for nearly 2 months now. So this is the best-looking Roosters pack. They're going to be outsiders. Bulldogs was a lot of emotion last week. Do you think they might be a bit flat?
Yeah, maybe. I hate overthinking that type of stuff.
Roosters coming off a bye.
Yep. Jamin Salmon's out. He's been critical for the Bulldogs.
No Presto.
They're already without Preston. They're already without the Stilly. They're already out with another key forward as well. Josh Curran. Josh Curran. They've been to Magic Round, Doggies. They've been to Canberra for a big game. They've been on the road. I'm tipping the Roosters. I'm just tipping the Roosters.
The only thing I have in the back of my mind is the Chooks are playing against this team now who defend so well, they can frustrate you into errors. And as we know, the Roosters have got errors in them. If it's not working for them, for whatever reason, their completion rate goes out the window when they get a bit of pressure put on them. They're good front runners when they're flying, as we've seen against the Dolphins. They may frustrate them out of it because they can get down and dirty and bore you.
Yes.
And the Roosters, at the moment, young halves, when you see an opportunity that's not there and you're a young half and you're inexperienced, you may try and push the pass, so to speak. Whereas blokes who have been around, they just say, give me the ball, I'm going to kick it. Freddie was a king at that.
Yeah.
Because I used to try and overcall him and he would just go, no, look, it might be tackle 3, and we were kicking on tackle 3.
So despite how flashy Freddie was, he was very good at big picture, was he?
To the back end of his career, and remember how good he was in attack.
Yeah.
He just used to knuckle down. It might be tackle 3, and we're on halfway, and we've got on the 40-metre line. We've got a chance. There's an opportunity somewhere. He'll go, nah, we're just kicking.
Wow.
And we wouldn't argue, but I'd say, oh, it was on. He goes, nah.
Later on. And might have been on, but over the course of... It
might have been on, but this was early in the game.
Yeah, wow.
So Fred probably learnt that later on in his career.
Kicking into the corners. Speaking about sage counsel or elderly sort of advice, my concern for the Roosters is on the one side you've got Hugo Savala.
Yeah.
You've got the artist formerly known as Robert Toy, who's now Bobby Toyer.
Right, yeah.
And you've also got Marky Mark. So starting in their positions, Marky Mark's only played 3 games on the wing.
You know what, Shug? And you're correct. And I keep looking at this Hugo Savala, and every week I keep saying to myself, yeah, look, this kid, he's only 18 or 19. How is he going to handle it?
Bobby Toyer.
Savala, he just keeps aiming up.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's as good as any halfback. We haven't even seen him really run yet. No. I feel it's one of those, the old heads on young shoulders.
Yeah.
Mate, you think that when you look at the team, you go, oh, look, inexperienced. But he's going to be special, this Hugo.
Well, speaking about Dogs and Roosters, like, you look at a bloke called Trent Hodkinson. You wouldn't have thought he would have slayed it to buggery as a kid, right? But sometimes the bigger the moment gets, the bigger the stage gets, it more suits their game. Maybe that's Hugo Savala. Of course, Trent Hodkinson won a State of Origin series for New South Wales. So maybe Savala is one of those kids who didn't star as a kid, but he's just getting better and better by the milestone.
Well, when Nathan Cleary came in, he wasn't a star. I know he's a baby, but apparently him as a kid, he wasn't very flashy. He was just very mature.
Yep.
His kicking game is obviously a strength of his. So he's growing into his running game. I think Hugo is going to be a first grader for a long time. Whether or not it's going to be at the Chooks, now they're talking about, now I start thinking, the Roosters with DCE, is that the right? Because he'll move on. His management or Hugo will say, man, I've done all the hard yards. I'm not going to sit behind Daly Cherry Evans for 2 years. I know that's all well and good saying, he can teach him.
Yeah.
But he's already tasted.
Do they teach him, Brian?
Well,
they?
I don't know. But he's now had a taste of first grade. He doesn't want to go back to reserve grade for 2 years.
No. No, interesting chat. By the way, Suncorp Stadium doesn't know what it's hit. It's got a Saturday 3 p.m. game, then it's got a Sunday afternoon game. It won't know what's happening up there with day games at Suncorp Stadium. It is live on SEN. The Dolphins, who are taking this Warrior side, equal best start to a season after 9 games. 7 win. How do you have 7 wins and 2 losses and a differential of 1 point, Brian?
Because there's close games, Shug. They did get lapped by the Raiders, and the
Storm.
2 games they've lost, they got lapped.
Lapped. Exactly right.
But I'm not backing against them. Not with James Fisher-Harris back in the team.
They've been 3 weeks on the road back-to-back. That's hard.
I'm not falling into the buffet call.
I'm falling into it.
Are you?
I don't want to fall into it because Fisher-Harris comes back, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, a chance to come back. I'm falling into it.
Dolphins?
Yeah.
I can't fall into it.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I like the Warriors. It is young Katoa versus young Metcalf.
Different players, different sevens.
Yep.
But the future of the game. How old's Lukey Metcalf?
Ooh.
24, 25?
Yeah, I'd say 24, 25.
Okay. 26.
26. Late bloomer.
Okay.
What I love about him, and I mentioned this last week, boys, is go through his reserve grade stats, and he scores like almost a try game there. Try scorers are try scorers, Brian, and he just keeps scoring tries.
All right. No, he's a terrific kid too. We've got to get him on the show, Brooks.
Yep.
We're going to get him?
Get his old man on. Glennie, he's a great bloke. Herbie Farnworth also in a mood at the moment. He's scored a try in 4 consecutive games. Metcalf has scored in 6 of his past 6 games. They are hot to trot. Cowboys take on the Seagulls, Brian. This game at QCB, Saturday at 5:30. Now, both teams have won 4. If you win 4 after 11 rounds, that is problematic.
Yes. Yes, it is. I'm going with the Cowboys here for the fact that they're going to be without a plethora of players due to Origin, so they've got to bank these wins. They need this win.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see Jackson Purdue in the halves.
We like that, don't we?
Cannot wait. The more we see with him with the ball in his hands, the better. Geez, he's good to watch.
Is there any part of that where Dearden says to Coach Payton, "Hey, Toddy, give me a crack at the 7. I want the 7 Cowboys to take on the 7 at the Manly side." Is there any world in which Daly doesn't get the 7 for Queensland?
No, you wouldn't.
So if Tom Dearden leads the Cowboys to a big win at 7, no?
I don't think so. Daly's a captain. He'll be the captain of Queensland.
Yeah.
He's already come out and said that. So, no.
No. Is Dearden 100% in the 17?
Somewhere. Has to be.
Yep.
Has to be.
Interesting. Big game coming up. Cowboys have not defeated the Seagulls in Townsville since 2016. With that probably comes not a heap of games. But
is this the game when Tommy scored that try when he beat 9 players? Remember that?
From the goal line?
No, that was another one.
That was the same game. It was the same teams, wasn't it?
Same teams, but the one where he crabbed across field and just beat about 9 players to score. The one at the end, that was right at the death, and Daly scored.
Yes.
From the in goal.
Yeah.
Same game?
I don't know, but I just remember it.
He went berserk.
It was Cowboys and Manly.
Yeah.
Quote from Seabold, by the way. So Manly Seagulls via the website. Manly Warringah Seagulls are delighted to announce the signing of experienced halfback Jamal Fogarty on a 3-year deal. Why is this being announced? You probably think, I've already heard this news. Well, you have, but with the 10-day cooling off period, it's now official. Quote from Anthony Seabold, the coach, Jamal is a good person. He's an elite football player. Has shown ability, both quality and consistency throughout his career. We look forward to welcoming Jamal and his family to our club at the end of the season. That is a pretty much copy-paste.
It's fine. Now, let's get Daly to just do the same. Then we're not talking about it. Because I feel it's on his mind. Like, he just comes out now. So, Jamal's going there.
Yep.
We've got a halfback next year.
Yep.
Now, Daly, Cherry Evans just comes out and says, I'm a good person and elite football player. Let's go, and we're going to the signing with whoever he's going to.
Yep.
Just do it. Sharks versus Storm, Saturday, 7:35, Sharks Stadium. Sharks first came back to Shy since round 4, Joel.
Really?
Since round 4. They've been on the road.
So where have they been to? They've been to North Queensland, they've been to Canberra, they've been to Perth, they've been to Vegas. Brisbane. Gee, they've been travelling.
They've been around. So
they're actually going quite well when you think about all the travel they've had. Amy brought you the news. We're here for the Hyundai Preface sale. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today. Brian, I'll give you a little fact around. Crap stat me, please, tourist.
Crap stat.
The Melbourne Storm, Brian, in the sunshine on a clear day, they are 4-0. They have spanked teams, averaging over 50 points per game. When they've played in the night or rainy conditions, which was the case at Magic Round,
against the Dragons.
Yep, they've only won 2 and lost 3.
Ooh.
They don't like the night. They don't like rainy conditions. They are hot track specialists.
Yeah, down there too. Daytime. You're keen on the Sharks, aren't you?
I'm keen on the Sharks. I am, yes.
I would not be as keen if Harry and Nelson
weren't mentioned.
Weren't mentioned. I'd be keen on the Sharks.
Yep.
What he did last week, Nelson, you could tell what Bellyache said to him. Said, don't offload.
Yep.
Just run as hard as you can, skittle them, get a quick play of the ball, because and then off the back of that, like Bronson
Garlic, yep.
He was a benefactor of that. If Harry gets Harry's named in the squad.
Yep.
If he plays on, I'll be leaning towards the Storm, but they're going good, the Sharks.
They're going terrifically well. We'll catch up with Troy Phillips very shortly as well, who loves his Sharkies Dally M halves battle. Potentially, not just halves. Will Kennedy, he's the current leader. You've got Nico Hines, a 2022 winner. You've got Munster and Hughes. It's all kind of happening there, Brian. It's going to be a massive, massive game, isn't it? The Sharkies taking on the Storm. Broncos take on the Dragons. Now, this game will be on live on SEN and on Broncos radio. Both teams are desperate. They are so desperate. Coach Flanagan, Coach Maguire, they are really, really desperate.
Broncos. You just can't get a finger on them, can you? Like
No.
Sort of when they're a bit of flat track bullies too. When it's all going their way, they're hard to contain. But when they get under pressure or a team aims up to them like South did last week, for whatever reason, they seem to go into their shell. I still think they'll get the cash done. They'll get the cash against the Dragons, but maybe Ezra could breathe some life into them.
Raiders versus the Titans, Brian, who talk about polar opposites. The Raiders, who they used to be called the Faders, well, they found their way back to that after having a big lead against maybe the benchmark, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, big lead. And then the Titans, on the other hand, they were cooked. They were gone. You thought Des Hasler might have coached his last game, but then from off the canvas, they rose. Brimson, Khan Pereira, from nowhere they found a way. And what about game 100? Tino Fasumala-Awi, about 250 metres. What a player.
He does everything for him. Offloads, passing before the line. Unfortunately for you Titans fans, the Raiders don't defend like Newcastle. So, Raiders for me, Matty Nicholson, huge out. 12 weeks. What a blow for this poor kid, because he's been going terrific. Raiders for me, back on the bandwagon. Shug, who you going for? Shug, you there? Who you going for?
Okay, tourist needs to turn himself off because he's just not happy with our Sweden and Denmark thing. But anyway, sorry, tourist, about that. I thought it was interesting. Brian thought it was interesting, but just turn it off. Matty Nicholson, he's a big out for the Canberra Raiders, Brian.
Yes, so we're just talking about that, saying how he's come over here and he's. I remember when he played Benny Hunt, ran over him twice. Broncos, was that round 2, round 3? Thought this kid looks good. It's funny how they unheralded, because I know he was okay over there, but not a superstar. And you talk about how certain players fit certain clubs, or you're talking about Hodgkinson, how the bigger the game, the better he went.
Yep.
This is like this kid here. He
missed the Vegas game too, by the way. Wasn't picked in their original 17.
He's taken to the NRL like a duck to water.
Yep. Jamal Fogarty taking on Jaden Campbell. Of course, Jamal Fogarty from the Gold Coast Titans originally. Big game, no doubt about that. 1300-01-1170. We will, in fact, before we break, Brian, West Tigers taking on the Rabbitohs Sunday, 6:15 p.m. Hammy Goodman calls it the 9th wonder of the world. Leichhardt Oval, the 8th wonder of the world. Live on SEN, the West Tigers coming off a shellacking. 64-0. Rabbitohs maybe their biggest win of the year.
And a lot of emotion went into that. I've tipped the Bunnies, but as the market suggests, it's not going to be there's not much in this one.
Nope.
The only thing I'm worried about is Tigers coming off that loss, 64-0.
Yes.
You know, when you've played and you've been pumped and all you want to do is get a train on Monday. Watch the review. They'll probably wouldn't watch the review. Just get on the field and go, because you hate that feeling.
I know.
There's nothing worse a feeling when you just get pumped.
On my to-do list, I had haven't yet done it, but I did make a point to go, okay, how did the teams go who got flogged? How'd they go the next week? Did they bounce back? I need to do that. Maybe someone listening can do that for us. 1300 01 1170. You think that Campbelltown's a big edge for the West Tigers? Well, they've only won 3 of the past 15, but in saying that, West Tigers have not been the side that you'd want to be anyway. So maybe take that with a grain of salt, Brian, which...
Alex Johnson is back in the team. How far away is he from the record?
I'm 13 or 14.
Oh, it's not... Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I think Ken Irvine's 212, and I think AJ's in the 190s, I think.
Oh, right. You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio, because if you don't, you're an A grade, but if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.